Okay, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my apologies for keeping you waiting, but we had a decision that had to be arrived at because of the candidates for the co-option. Going into the meeting for the full parish council, for those who might have arrived late, should there be a fire, it was a real fire, it won't be a drill. Out any quick way as you can. 21-21-1, to receive apologies for absence. We already have that info, Ashley. Yep, thank you. 21-21-2, to note declarations of interest and request for dispensation to discuss and vote on a matter in which a member or co-opted member has a disclosable pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest. Anybody?
None.
Item 21-21-6.
Payment of accounts.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, what?
You have an interest.
All right. So I've got to abstain?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll have to declare an interest then in that item.
Yes.
And I will have to abstain, which seems very strange to me.
Oh,
Sorry, but there we are.
in the standing order. Okay, thank you. And nobody else? No? No, no, right. Do you get those names, Ashley? Okay. 21-21-3, open forum. Comment and questions concerning items on this agenda may be put to the council by the public during this period. Matters which, in the chairman's view, require debate and/or discussion will be referred to the next committee or council meeting as appropriate. Public forum is restricted to 15 minutes unless the chair allows otherwise. Let's get if there are any questions from the public. Roger.
Yes, not so much question as a comment on item 21-21-7, resolve that Handforth Parish Council be the Handforth Town Council. I'm a bit puzzled by this as to what the thinking behind this. Are we hoping by so doing that the troubles associated with history with Handforth Parish Council will be swept under the carpet, and because there won't be any Handforth Parish Council anymore, actually Handforth Town Council? And that's one thought that went through my mind. I like someone to explain to me what the reasoning is behind that proposed change. And I wonder whether it's appropriate for two reasons. Firstly, according to the current local plan, Handforth is classified as a local service centre, whereas Wilmslow is classified as a principal town. I don't think Handforth has yet reached the status of principal town. I think that would come once the garden village is complete and once the development at the end of Clay Lane and American Road is complete. So I think on those grounds it might be a little premature to relabel the Parish Council as Handforth Town Council. And my gut feeling is that if there's a fight in court, it ought to be Handforth Parish Council arising from the ashes and saying, look guys, there's been a great change in the Parish Council composition, and I think we ought to move forward from here and confidence and grow and benefit from the problems that the Parish Council is.
Thank you, Roger. I will go through a response to that when we get to the agenda item. Was there something? Yeah. So just let the councillor respond.
I just want John wants to respond. Well, give you my opinion on why we should change, and I've been asking for this since the days of John Brooks, because a great number of people. It's nothing to do with the viral video or the troubles that we've had for the past couple of years. My main concern is that a lot of residents think that the parish council is associated with the church and they don't want anything to do with it. And I was hoping that after the viral video, people would realise that it's not anything to do with the church and that our position would be clarified, but it hasn't, which is apparent from the same people being here every month. You know, I would have thought with the interest that there was in,
I will be going into it.
Going on of the parish council, that, you know, more people would have been interested enough to come and see what was going on. So from my perspective, I'm quite happy for it to be changed from the parish.
Yeah, so
The trouble was that the right was quite unhappy about the link between Handforth Parish Council and Parish Church Council.
Yeah.
yes, yes, I will be going into the reasoning behind it when we get to the item. Oh, Alan.
I reiterate what Councillor Smith said. I believe that by calling Handforth a town council in the future gives you an opportunity. There's a lot of development going on. It also gives you an opportunity of rebranding yourself and getting away from the stigma that is perceived of you being attached to the church.
Okay, can I?
And that way, I'm sure this a rebranding exercise, and I hope that alongside the rebranding exercise, we will get perhaps a news print out about the background of Handforth Parish Council, right? Being why you're changing or will change the name to Town Council, and it will give people a background of how it's all come about, and you can start with a fresh sheet of paper.
Thank you, David. Well, I'm going to suggest, Ashley, can I we take on the motion 21-21-7 now, as there's been so much discussion of it, and then
Alan to speak.
is it about the Handforth?
Well, one of them, I had two things really. The other one was about the mainstream on the website.
That's not on the agenda. I can discuss that with you separately.
Sorry, Alan, could you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
The internal audit report on the website.
Yeah, that was from a couple of months ago, yeah. That's from a couple of months ago.
Internal audit.
Internal report.
Yeah, the last meeting.
Yeah, at the last, Alan, it was discussed at the last meeting, Alan, but I'll speak to you afterwards because it was mentioned about the reasons why. But we decided to just accept the internal audit report and put future controls in place, which are in place now. Thank you.
Are you free, Peter? Yes. Okay.
We told me that the Parish Council bit was submitted over and it's leading, and we are statistically a big Parish Council. Town would give a better reflection outside, given it was government particularly. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Turn on.
Okay. Sam?
Just I wanted in relation to 21-21-8 actually, to do with the potential request for an informal referendum. It was just a suggestion that there are tools available, electronic tools available to do that, such as SurveyMonkey, which I don't want to teach people to suck eggs, that they exist. Potentially, if they're doing that really quite cheaply. If you're able to compile an email list, then that poll can be done basically.
Yeah, I agree that that is that's one method of doing it, but we also will need to do knocking on doors as well, as David did 2011. Okay.
Yes, to determine any further action in housing in relation to back in March, week that we're going to do a leaflet campaign to raise awareness and let the people of Handforth know about the consultation process and what it would involve with merger. Obviously, that hasn't been done. And I'm just questioning why these decisions are being made and the majority of the people in Handforth really don't know anything about it or what's what and what.
Yes.
They're going to make a decision of what they would like.
Yes, we've not got to that period yet because we've been waiting for information from Cheshire East about whether or not they will be holding a referendum or we didn't know yet. But I think we've got the information on us.
Now we know they're not going to pay for a referendum. The other point is the consultation isn't live yet, so we couldn't give you a leaflet destination to go to make a comment. That Cheshire East, if you want to.
Yeah, I can see that, but it just seems to me that because of what, it may be it's the way the agenda items are being put out, that the decision's already been made by the Parish Council to oppose any merger.
Yes, we had it.
I think that most people in Handforth would like to remain as Handforth, but then again, is this preempting what the people would want because we've already.
No, the Parish Council made their own decision as well.
They can make their own decision.
They have to have a point, their own perspective, basically. Because they then need to speak to Cheshire East with that in mind. And the other parish councils, Chorley and Bromfield, also made their position on it clear.
Yeah, I'm just going back to previous meetings when it's been discussed about being more in contact with.
Yes. Quite so, yeah.
And this might be a golden opportunity.
Oh, rest assured, everyone, just about everyone in Handforth will be asked the question. Other questions? Oh. Another one?
Item 10, the 400 county street signs. Is this not Cheshire East?
No. But that's why we have the preset. Cheshire East maybe would have done it in the past, but they're skint. They've had 4 billion taken out of the highways budget. They've been chopped everywhere. We have a situation where there's somebody that needs a new sign because ambulances couldn't find them. And that's a major problem. So that's why we're using the precepts that we've got from Cheshire East to buy the stuff that's needed here.
If I can just make a comment on that as well. Back in 2019, I was asked for a street sign on Spath Lane Estate to be replaced to show that it led from Lostock Road on to
Heatley Way.
Well,
Heatley Way.
No.
Helsby Way.
Helsby Way, but for the same reason, the ambulances. And it was put on a list. It still hasn't been done. And I know it's still on the list because I check it regularly, but it's a case of as and when they come to it, and that there's nothing more pressing to spend that money on. So if we can do it as a parish council, then why not? Yeah.
Just asking the question why it's coming down to having to use our money to replace street signs.
Because that's what we do. We allocate funds where they're needed because Cheshire East won't.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just asking the question, could more pressure not be put on Cheshire?
well, as you just heard there, 2 years ago, the ward councillor asked them for it and it's still not been done. So we'll take action.
It will get done eventually if we leave it, but in the meantime, we've still got a position where people, ambulances and doctors can't find the roads, so it needs doing sooner rather than later. A prime example of being put on a list on a work schedule is at the top of Spath Lane, opposite the vets. The footpath there has just been relayed. I asked for that to be done, and I met with the highways engineer there back in 2019, and that again was put on a schedule of works, and it has been done 2 years later, but it's been done. So, I don't doubt that they will get round to these things, but if we need it doing sooner, then it's up to us to do it.
Okay, thank you. David?
Yeah, just to make a point to Anne's question there, I'd like to say that £400 is a small amount of money. I guess it just used to be, by the time they set the 3-ton truck out and the 4 men with it to change the sign, it would cost a lot more than £400, which is still coming out of your pocket.
Yes, absolutely right. Yes.
Who will do these plans will be the handyman?
Yes.
The parish council will have to make.
Yes.
Handyman.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you very much. No more questions? Thank you. Next item, 21-21-4, to improve and sign the minutes, the HPC council meeting of the HPC meeting of 15th of June 2021. We're all trying to save paper, bear with me. Right. Does anyone have any issues
None.
on the minutes? No?
Clark, I've just got one. You were going to send out the project list to us all to put our names against it.
I'll send it to all. Put it in.
No.
Oh, sorry. Forward it.
Okay, thank you.
No more questions? Okay. Can I have a proposal to accept, please? Smith.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Can I have a vote in favour, please?
Favour.
Anonymous, thank you. 21-21-5. Motion to vote on recommendations of Council Motion 21-24 and vote in the new co-opted member to represent the vacant South Ward seat of Handforth Parish Council. New member to sign the declaration of acceptance of office and fill in a DPI form. I'll just check with Ashley on the format here. We're required to
Vote on the matter. We've taken a vote. Mr. Sullivan been nominated to sit on the parish council.
So we need a proposal and a vote.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I propose that Gary Sutherland be accepted into the South Ward seat?
I'm at secondary 5. So
And can I have a vote in?
we have
We had the vote, didn't we? So, you've got the vote details.
3 in favour with 1 abstention. And therefore, Terry Sullivan joins the council.
Thank you. Well done, Gary. Let's join. So next to Councillor Smith, please.
I have a declaration of acceptance of office. I would like to use the chief.
Just like to say thank you, Gary, and welcome to the council. It's something that you've seen before, obviously, so I don't think it'll take you long to get back into the routine. I don't think so. Okay, thank you. Item 21-21-6, to approve and sign the order of payment accounts for July and August 2001.
I'd just like to make a comment, Chair. The planter signs look absolutely amazing. They do say Handforth Parish Council on them. However, I have opted to go around and put a sticker over when we become a town council. But thank you very much, Clark, for getting that done.
Any issues on the order of payments for July and August? It is on the one document. No? No issues? Okay. Any issues?
Got to abstain.
Of course, you could bring up an issue if you have an issue.
Comment.
Just one thing, skip time, 300.
That's including that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And the next one is say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
No problem.
Okay. Can I have a proposal to accept them? Please?
Then
Thank you. And vote in favour. Can Councillor Sullivan vote?
3 in favour.
No.
2 abstention.
Thank you. So, 21-21-7 to resolve that effective from 31st of July 2021 that Handforth Parish Council will now be renamed Handforth Town Council and will adopt the style of Town Council. What I'd like to say is that we've said that this council is committed to greater interaction with Handforth residents, and many residents that I've spoken to in the past have understandably believed that the parish council was in some way attached to the church, which was reasonable understanding. The Vicar of Dibley comes to mind with people's ideas of what a parish council is like. The parish element, anyone, as we spoke before, only refers to the physical boundaries. It's felt that many residents will identify more with a secular town council rather than a parish council with its connotations of religion. I think religions are now in a minority in most of Britain now, but we're looking to make sure that we are reflecting what Handforth is by its population. The question that I had before about whether or not it was because of the viral, I don't know who asked that one, was it Roger, I think, whether it was so that we wash our hands of the parish council. I don't know if that'll ever happen. I'm still getting comments from people now who say, "Oh, I saw you on the telly," and that's all the rubbish. But it's not because of that. A definition, a government definition, is quite straightforward. If a dwelling has 35 other dwellings within 800 metres, that is considered a village. If a dwelling has 500 other dwellings within 800 metres, that is a town. And we fulfil on that criteria. So from that point of view, to make sure that we're getting recognised as a town council and not as anything attached to the church, as has been mentioned, but also we fulfil the criteria that I mentioned. And that's why I'm proposing that motion take place. I would point out that there is a means of amending the council notice boards so they reflect Handforth Town Council. And we don't have stacks of stationery with Handforth Parish Council on it that's going to get binned. Any comments from the chair? Chair,
can I just ask, as the town council, will we be entitled to any more members of the town council?
No, sorry, that's down to Cheshire East.
Okay, just thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
Comments?
Is there any procedure we have to go through?
It's a resolution by council.
We have taken advice.
When will it be effective from?
It says on here 31st of July, is it? Yeah.
Yes, 31st of July. Roger?
The number of council committees on this body, of course, can be reviewed during the present review of local governments. That's one of the weeks of the municipal development matter. So it is felt that we need more parish councils to review of the developments going on in the west and the east of the parish. You can ask for them. I think the rules are that there's got to be a minimum of seven, but you can have any number above that.
Yes, I believe Style being asked to increase the numbers. Something I heard somebody that they're increasing, want to increase it, but we'll let Style carry on with that.
Yeah, the development to the east is likely to be more anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Can I just say, another reason why I think we should be a town is that we're not a little village that can be swallowed up by Wilmslow town. We're now more robust, aren't we?
Yes, when I did a check on the populations of towns in Cheshire East, there are 4 or 5 towns on the list that have a smaller population than Handforth. With Handforth of 6,611, I think it was. So we wouldn't be the smallest anyway. And I believe that John Brooks' comment was that Handforth was the largest village in Cheshire East, smallest town in Cheshire East. Okay. So, any more comments?
Nope.
I'd like to propose that motion that we adopt it and that we become Handforth Town Council from the 31st of July. I'd like to propose that.
I'll second it.
Thank you. And votes in favour, please. Thank you. 21-21-8. Following on from motion 21-11-8 to determine any further action which can be taken in opposing any proposed merger with Wimpole Town Council and Tory Parish Council, and agree any further funding requirements up to an additional maximum amount of 15,000 from general reserves. This to include organising engagement events, media publicity, and potential request of informal referendum, which no longer would be paid for by Cheshire East. That would be paid for by the Parish Council.
Chair, can I make a comment, please?
Please do.
Ashley kindly sent us a notification from Brian Reid, who is the Democratic Services Officer at Cheshire East. I'd like Ashley to put it on the website so that any residents can go and have a look and as to see why they want us to merge. There are 3 websites that you can go to, but I think it would be most important that we put it on our Facebook page and on our website, please, Ashley, if the chair's in agreement and the rest of the councillors are.
Yes, let's get the information out, let everybody know.
Not 3 things.
Sorry,
Not 3 points is mentioned.
what are they?
3 reasons to merge.
If you want to go in and have a look, a lot of it
That's one we.
Yes, I think
they're trying to predetermine that we're going to merge.
No reasons.
No, they don't give reasons. They just give very dictatorial sentences to say this will happen because of this boundary change. And this is the way they're looking at it. But if you want to contact Ashley before it goes on the website or see me afterwards, I'll give you the web addresses that you can look at. Okay?
Brian Reid wrote to me and said that the reason was that they thought that as we were so close to Wilmsborough, most residents Handforth got most of their, a lot of their services from Wilmsborough. I spent the next 20 minutes trying to think of any services.
Yeah.
I think that's the big issue. I think that is one
The only
thing.
service that they ever gave us was the use of their browser.
I think in terms of services that we provide, I think we've got our schools.
Oh, yeah. Got a vet, doctors, pharmacists, etc. Yes.
Highlight that in our itself.
Yes. Absolutely right.
Without feeling.
Roger, sorry, David. Roger.
I understand it, final answer as to whether these boundary changes and fusions of parish councils is committee of the central government. And one of the things which they say is that they will not look favourably on the creation of mega parish councils or mega town councils, particularly if they are a disadvantage of the residents of any of the parishes southern line.
Yes.
And that is a statement made very clearly in their
Quite. David?
I think without appearing to be too mischievous, I think a lot of it's down to political elements. And I think that will be exposed in due course.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Can I just say one thing about this? I am having familiarised myself with the 1972 Act. I know that it does say in there that no changes can be made without permission from all of the councils involved. And that point, I believe, Roger, was made to Brian Reid. and Brian Reid discounted it and came back with something. Can't remember what it was now, but I haven't found anything that overrides the 1972 Act. And given that Handforth Parish, current parish council, now town council, doesn't want to merge, Wilmslow doesn't want to merge, and Chorley doesn't want to merge, I do not see how it can go ahead because it's contravening the 1972 Act.
Okay, thanks, Sue. So can we have a proposal for agreeing the funding available from general reserves? Councillor Julie Smith, Councillor Moore second. Can I have a vote in favour, please? Unanimous. Thank you.
Chair, before you move on, it was agreed that councillors would set up a working group in order to start promoting it. And as we're going to be a town council by the 31st of July, I feel that maybe a working group should be set up fairly quickly and agree the strategy of what we're going to do as soon as we know when the consultation is going to come out. We need to be prepared.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes, totally agree. Excellent. That's good to know. Thank you very much.
Disavowing most of the points, but one may be in favour of our merger. If you look at the parameters which the Constitution Committee used, every single one of them will be shot down.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, what we'll do is we'll set something up with the steering group and members of the council, and we'll do that through Ashley. Okay. Thank you. Next motion, 21-21-9, to agree the purchase of 2 additional notice reports for Handforth up to a maximum value of £12.50 plus VAT.
Can I ask where these notice boards are going?
One nearly past Miss Park and the Hallwood Estate, and one outside here.
And one where? What's the last
Outside
one?
here.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, it's sorry, there.
Yeah. What's good about the one going on the corner?
Yeah.
On the road is that so many people walk past.
Yeah. We'll have it there.
Good. Can I have a proposal for that, please? Councillor. Second. Councillor Smith. Can I have a vote in favour, please? Unanimous. Thank you. 21-21-10. Motion to agree the purchase of up to 10 replacement street name signs as identified missing or beyond repair in Handforth up to a maximum value of £400. We've already had a discussion on this. Can I have a proposal? Second. Vote in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. And item 21-21-11, to receive an update from the appointed woodland specialist in relation to the Handforth woodland plan. This is Councillor Moore's proposal.
Yes, can I introduce everybody to our woodland specialist, Chris Widger, who is over there, who will now give us a report on the completed.
Am I going to do that from here?
Yeah, if you want to, you can come out up front, whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with.
I'm going to speak to you, so if you're happy to turn your chair, I'm checked. I'm not know how or anything like that. Well, firstly, thank you very much for inviting me along to the Parish Council meeting, and also for actually commissioning me to do this piece of work. I do appreciate that. Councillor Moore asked me to embark on this piece of work, and I set about the task really from the basis of looking at the woodland that was identified in the neighbourhood plan as a starting point. And then first stage in that is very much a sort of, it's a typical process in developing the woodland plan that I follow. The first stage of that process is to try and understand a little bit about what we've got. So to assess the various compartments of woodland, look at how they're made up, how they're structured, the sort of habitat types, their age, their history, and wanted to quantify them a little bit in terms of their scale and size and specific location, etc. So there's a bit of research to be done to start with to really find out about the asset and what you're in. That's the first part of the process. And once I've got to that point, the next stage is really to find a sort of way of looking at these for the future. What is the vision that we see for these places? What do we want from these places? And so I proposed a vision back to Chancellor Moore, and I think it went through the councillors, is that right? And everyone had a look at that. So I made a proposal for a vision, which I'm happy to read to you if you'd like. I think it might help in the next stage of what I'm about to say. So the vision I came up with is this. Handforth's woodlands will provide a green lung for the village. In a partnership with the landowners, they will, as far as possible, be accessible, understood, and valued, and they will enable a resource for local recreation, education, and reflective connection with the environment. They will be integral to people's enjoyment of the parish, or town, and valued the amenity and ecological contribution they make to the quality of life for local people. Each woodland will be structurally diverse and boast many veteran tree specimens and habitats for diverse wildlife. They will be resilient to climate change, pests and diseases, and increasing visitor pressure. Associated ponds, wet flushes, brooks, grasslands, and hedgerows will complement woodland, creating valuable niches for non-woodland species. Handforth woodlands will enjoy protections made possible through local policies, and be a cherished stronghold for nature in an increasingly developing community. And their management will be a model of good practice for similar parishes. So that was a sort of starting point, really, from where for the next step. And the next step is to firstly look a little bit about the protection of those spaces and how we assess the threats and perhaps come up with strategies to deal with those threats. And beyond that, we need to sort of from the vision really develop a set of objectives. And I put together a series of objectives which are both collective and for each of the various compartments, because there are, it's not as if we have one woodland, it's broken down into lots of different sections of woodland across the parish. So there are a series of collective or broad overview objectives and objectives for each of the compartments. Now, the real challenge for Handforth is that of all of the woodlands, and there are really 12 that are identified, 11 or 12 that are identified in the neighbourhood plan, they are within multiple ownerships. And I couldn't even find out exactly how many ownerships we're talking about. But on the plus side, 50%, roughly 50% of woodland that we have within the parish is within Cheshire East ownership. And that's very helpful because in order to actively bring about a sort of an active management plan, you need to have the permission and the authority of the landowner. So I think that what we've done here is get to the point where we have a strategy and a series of objectives, and we've identified a vision and some of the threats. The next stage, really, as I see it, is to engage with at least Cheshire East and possibly other landowners in order to come to some sort of agreement about how we deliver against these objectives with each of those landowners. Now there are a number of ways in which you can do that, but almost all woodland operations will require permission and consent on the Forestry Commission as well as the landowner. And that is something that requires a full consultation process, and it requires work to go on to a public register. And I think we can only do that if we're working with landowners. So the next stage, I think, is to engage with landowners and at least broadly agree around these objectives and what we would like to see happen in order to develop the detailed prescriptions from those objectives with those landowners. And we can then decide as to, or you can decide, how you go about that. That can be done either by allowing the landowners to take on that strategy and enable them to sort of or support them in delivering against those, or it can be to adopt that work for yourselves with their permission. But either way, it has to be done with their permission, and normally if any tree work, felling, planting, restocking, or anything of that sort is required, then permissions and consent will be needed from the forest. The benefit of going through that process with the Forestry Commission is that it also has the potential to unlock funding for that work. Although it is possible that there are other ways of funding these things, there's all sorts of ways. If they're willing to donate, or if the parish is wealthy enough to do it itself, then that's another option. Or we could be looking at development mitigation funding, which I think is perhaps, given the state of things in the area, one of the strong possibilities for funding any prescriptions that we might want to carry out. I hope that provides some overview. It's a fairly hefty document that I've put together, and I hope it probably explains it a little bit more, in a bit more detail, and perhaps a little bit more cogently than I've just done now. But I think what I would say is that Parish is endowed with some very high quality woodlands, and I'm not sure that that was fully understood by a lot of the population. I'm not suggesting that they all are high value. In fact, very few, if any, actually are notified or designated in any form or sense. That doesn't mean to say they aren't high quality, high value ecologically. Some of them are, particularly those along the Dean and in the tributaries that run back along or run into the Dean. Those sort of woodlands in the valleys are particularly valuable in terms of ecology. So I think there's scope for both a sort of an approach to woodland management itself and also interpreting what we have here to local people so that it's better understood and therefore perhaps better engaged. So yeah, that's fine.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Question from Roger.
This document was very clear, very meaningful. And I've not read it, I'm just got to listen to. I've got the neighbourhood plan open, the landscaping biodiversity areas. I can see all the plots of woodland that are specified there. My question to you is that, I mean, the neighbourhood plan is supposed to protect those pieces of woodland anyway. Supposed to. I've seen the uses of that already. What do you perceive as the major threats to some of the plots of woodland?
I think the major threat, there are a number of them, but the major threat, I think, is associated with increasing population. And as we are, I think we'll see in the forthcoming years, areas that are currently down to agricultural or just open space being taken up as housing, with an increasing population, with a higher expectation for local recreation, there will be more pressure. And I think what that brings about is a series of issues, really. It's disturbance, it's compaction, it's canine activity, and also potentially bringing in pathogens and diseases. So there will be increasing pressure on woodland, in fact, not just here, it's happening everywhere. But I think it's very relevant to Handforth because of the extend the development of that in the near future. So I'd say that's key.
One of the questions which is turned over and over and over in my mind is that one of our most important pieces of woodland is in fact Hallwood, which has some special destination issues standpoint, historic visits. And if you go down there in the spring, there is the most marvellous spray of bluebell. And now, what, about 100 yards away, I suppose there's 125 new houses. What do we do about that? Do we fence off that wooden bluebell glade, or do we keep it open to all these new residents and let them trample all over the bluebell glade and
You hit upon, I think, the eternal dilemma for the countryside manager, and I was a countryside manager for many years. And I would say that this sort of simplistic answer to that is that if you try and explain without engaging with them about why that is happening, and without a clear rationale for that, they won't accept it. And anything that you do, extensions such as fences, etc., will just be broken. And people will get angry. They'll get angry with the parish council, they'll get angry with whoever's doing fencing, and it won't work. The way around that, in my view, is to help people understand the value of what they have on their doorstep. Now that takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, commitment, and often money. But if people understand what they have, what assets they do in their local community, they understand them, they are more likely to value them, and they are more likely to support any interventions or any work that you will carry out to help protect them and conserve them. So you need to start by working with the community and developing initiatives that involve them around the woodland. And I think that is the key to it. But as I say, it's a very difficult process, and it's a long and complex process, and it requires expertise. So I would say that it's not impossible, and organisations like National Trust, which I work for many years, try very hard to help people understand their assets in order to engage with them in a meaningful and constructive way. I know by experience that just trying to do a piece of work without involving the community will normally backfire. It will normally backfire. And you spend quite a long time trying to deal with the issue.
one of the things that the neighbourhood plan student manages to do, using it as a substitute or whatever, is to designate an area of land as a local green space. This piece of local land is situated immediately adjacent to one of our architectural gems, Handforth Hall, probably the oldest building in the parish. And just behind that, the Hall of Roman, just to the north of the Hall, is a piece of open land which is in private ownership. And at the moment, it's just left as grassland. One of the problems that might be associated with trying to persuade the owners of that piece of land to let us plant trees in it. It's under the control of a trust, wonderful trust, family owned Handforth Hall in the old days. And that trust is not easy to deal with in my experience.
Well, I think that's the landowner is willing to pay more on island. But there is nothing that I am aware of that could enforce on trees. I think there is enough expectation both from central government, from local government, from the local planners, and expectation to see tree planting happen. I think there's a weight of expectation that we could work with. And I think we have to be persuasive. But I guess not everyone is going to go along with that. I don't know, well, I think I know what you mean.
I know where that's
okay, yeah. question, because way to the and parts sweetness.
Sorry, Richard, can I just stop you there? I'm saying we need to go on with the rest of the meeting. I would like to thank you, Chris, for that presentation. I have read the report fully. It's quite a document, but and there's pieces in it where I was reading Welsh, but it's quite technical in places, isn't it? But very good document, which I congratulate you on. I think it's a good piece of work for Handforth, certainly. Have you had a copy of the neighbourhood plan?
Yes.
You got one? Okay, good. Okay. Sorry, say again?
I think Don's that document.
We can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Do we need to propose it?
Yes.
I'd like to propose that we adopt the document as provided by Chris.
Yeah.
And a second.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Vote in favour?
In favour.
Unanimous. Thank you. Okay. And item 21/21/12 to receive an update from Councillor Moore following meetings with answer.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chris, for that very detailed report, and I do appreciate it. This all came about because I was handed a document that had been put together by, I believe, Jones Homes for some improvements to the South Wood, which is off Hall Road. And I looked at it and I thought, they want a tarmac path. That rang alarm bells for a start. And then they were putting all sorts of weird and wonderful things in. And I thought, really, we need to look at this as a big picture, not a little picture. And that was why we needed some expert help, and came in the form of Chris, who I have to say has worked for the National Trust. So he does know what he's talking about. And we had a very productive meeting in the Southwood talking about that. And then I was asked to attend a meeting at very short notice with answer about renewing the path in the South Wood. My concern was that people can't access the wood. I don't want cyclists and motorcycles and that kind of thing. That's not what it's about. It's about people accessing that wood. And it actually is rather a lovely wood. It's small, but it's lovely. So they have agreed, excuse me, they have agreed to do the path in exactly what Chris spec'd. There was no argument about tarmacking or anything, because that damages trees and does all sorts of dreadful things. And I was led to believe that it would be done this year. However, please don't hold us to that, because there is a slight issue in that some of the trees in the wood quite close to the path need to be removed because they are dangerous. And if we do get more people walking through there, the last thing we need is a tree to fall on somebody's head. So those have to be removed before answer will actually do the work on the path. So we have to wait for that department in Cheshire East to do their bit, which was agreed that they would, but there is no time scale on it as yet. However, please be assured I shall be chasing it very regularly, like weekly. So I'm hopeful that it'll all happen very quickly. Yes, Alan.
Answer mentioned whether they received Section 106 contribution.
Yeah, that's the Section 106 money. Yes, that's correct. That's the money that's being used. Well, purportedly. Oh, and the other thing I have to say about the garden village trees. Yeah. Yeah. I have been badgering, is a word, I think, the garden village department to say I don't want all these trees ploughed under, because there are hundreds and hundreds of trees over there, and some of them can be moved. They're young enough to be moved. And finally, last week, I got a result, and in September, I'm going on site with the Garden Village people, and we're going to look at what can and can't be moved. And then going to, well, prior to that, I'll be talking to Wilmslow Woodland group, who I'm sure would love to have some oak trees to plant, because I know they're planting thousands in conjunction with the National Trust. And of course, we can look for places that we would be allowed to move and put them here in Handforth. So that is my agenda for the summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. When you said Handforth village people, then I had a picture of someone as a cowboy, someone as a biker, someone as a policeman.
Never do that, you know.
Thank you. And close of meeting at 2040, but we need a date for the next meeting, Ashley. Is it August? Sorry.
Yeah, what is it, September?
September, yes.
Is the
Beg your
next
pardon.
council meeting. Second
Yeah,
Tuesday.
we can do.
14th.
Sorry?
14th.
14th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Meeting closed. Thank you for your attendance.